Hi, everybody. Welcome to the live. That 15 minutes went by super fast. So, welcome. Please say hello in the chat so I can say hi back. I'm glad you're here today. Don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're watching and you want to chat, but you can't, you got to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Wait a minute, and you'll be able to jump into the chat and chat with these lovely people who I'm about to say hello to. I'm going to give a few minutes for folks to start rolling in. We get the list a little longer, get a bunch of hellos out there. And Mo, aka Cookie Wookie, is in the chat, and she will be helping me with links today. If you have a question about a product or something, I will do my best to get you the info, and Cookie will do her best to get the links out there for you. Just be patient, and all will be fine. So I'm so glad everybody's here today. Let's give it a little hello shout out. Hello, Michelle. Michelle Waltz is here. Sandy Franklin's here. Hi, Linda Veal. Rosemary, hello. Jeanette, hello. Hi, Irma, ¿cómo está? Who else is here? Jill, hi, Jill. Hi, Barb. How are you? Hi, Carla. Welcome. So, today, what I thought I would do is so this video, the video for these is in process of being edited. It's an over an hour long, and I'm trying to edit it down. And it's a matter of going through it and adding in the colors I've used, because I know you guys like that, to see what colors I've used. So I try to be as specific as possible. Hi, Sherry. And also with anything else that might be of interest, I try to get that into the video, and then I have to do a voiceover because this particular video was filmed while I was watching one of Karen's live streams last week. That's Karen slapping paint on paper. And so I did the whole video while while listening and watching her. Um, and so then I got to do a voiceover. But long story short, too late, Eddie. So this is my newest stencil. This is Ribbon Eye, and it's I did a bit of a long haul. As you can see here, I got several papers. But what I was doing is kind of playing around with the texture that was already on here. There was a lot of paint already on the stencil. So there was a lot of play with stuff coming off of it and leaving texture behind. So as we go through some of these, you can see like there are bits and pieces of the paint that was dried on the stencil um, that were pulling up. And so I was, trying to get some of that, and then using the texture, because of what was going on, and you'll see once the video comes out. But what was going on is the 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 bits and chunks of paint wanted to start coming off and start lifting off the stencil, and that's the thing with these with the Yupo, is that it releases when the paint gets to a certain thickness. It will, and you keep using it, it will start to release. And so I was trying to take advantage of that with what I was doing, and it creates some really interesting feel to the paper. So it's texturized. It also gives back like there, and you get like a chunk came off there, and I left it there because I love that. Um, it's another bit there, and you can see there's you could see a lot of texture and sort of funky designs going on in there that was um, caused by the bubbling paint. Like that there, that was caused by the bubbling paint. I just kept going over and over. And you can see it clearly here, the texture that leaves behind, which I thought was really cool. So I wanted to keep exploring that. So I just kept going. Um, there's more pieces there. So I thought today what I would do is then take the papers that I made and use another stencil to add another layer. Now this was further down the road of the long haul that I did, and you see like this is big old chunks were coming off. So I purposely um, made sure that they stayed on the paper, and I made sure I smoothed them back on to leave it on there. So I just think that's a great addition to the print. Just makes it much more unique. And obviously, some paint pulls off more than other paints, and thicknesses of paints. That all matters. So, what I think the point of that exercise is that it's a great way to get to know your paints and how you behave and how your paints behave um, in different scenarios um, when you're using your stencil on the gel plate. And yeah, some of these you can tell I used a lot of paint, but that was the point because I wanted to build up texture. As you can see here, can you see that texture? It's so good. Look, it's quite textury. Oh, some people popped in. Let me say hello to you, fabulous folks. Hi, Lucy. Hi, Zal. We saw somebody else. Graham, hi. Hi, Patty. Who else came in there? I think was that Ro who came in there? Yes. Hi, Ro. How are you? Oh, you did. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I have some new stencils coming too, or new stencil and stamps. They were supposed to be here yesterday. That's why I'm doing the live today. But USPS is. Oh, hi, Jackie from the UK. How are you? Hi, Alyssa. Welcome. Yeah, but USPS is being a bit of a pain in the tuchus and has not delivered my order from PMR Studio yet, but hopefully it'll be here sooner than later. Now this one's fun. This was Lucas Krill Terracotta, and this one kind of feels like leather. It's really cool. And here you get some good details in there. You can see this is all detail from the paint that was bubbling up on the stencil. Yeah, they are. Got some blues here. Came in with some black. At one point, I even went as far. Where is that? Because some of the chunks were getting big and unruly. So, hi, Mary Brown. Welcome. No worries, Mary Brown. We know you're here. We love you and we appreciate you. Thank you so much. So, I took a, I literally just started pulling pieces off of the stencil mid print and got these awesome pieces here. And these are great. Let them dry out. Put them on some. This is craft deli paper, so it won't stick on here, which is good. And then you can use it on different things. Like I was cleaning Becky's stencil, the pop dots, and a bunch of it came off in big chunks, and I used it on these little canvas collages that I made as added texture and color. Great way to use those bits and pieces. Don't discard those. All right. So speaking of slapping paint on paper, hi Karen. Welcome, welcome. Miss Karen and I were having a dance off this morning. Her and I were reliving our youth. throwing it back to the late 80s, early 90s with some amazing freestyle and house music. It was so good. Good stuff. Like who remembers Lisa Lisa? Take me home. There we go. TKA, another one. Some cool pieces. So I'll save that for another day. Runaway piece. It's good. It was good music back then, right? It was so good. There was another one I kept hearing today. I'll remember it later, but it was just like one of those like very anthemic songs that you hear in the club that just it gave you all the feels. It made you feel good. It made you want to be part of something bigger and fabulous. It was awesome. And this is gold, but this is the um, Lucas Krill Gold, which is a great paint to have in your stash. It's 4612. Yeah, salt and pepper. But there's a lot of like just anthemic tracks out in those days that you still hear them today sampled in other music. So it just goes to show the longevity and of them. This is a beautiful one. I forgot which blue this was. I think methinks this is one of my new blues. Blues Clues. Oh God, where are you? Where are you? It is this one here. This is light blue violet. The Liquitex Basics. Eddie, could you get his outfit changed and join you in that dance? I love 70s music too. Definitely. Disco is my first love. And this is the turquoise phthalo from the golden fluid acrylic. This one here, transparent. And then these are the brayer offs. The brayer offs are kind of fun. Beautiful. So let me show you the stencils I've got, and we'll get to playing in a moment. I'm not using that one anymore. I'm going to put you over here. I have this one that you saw today if you were at PM Artist Studio, which I think most of you were. This is the new one from Sophia Button. It is something scalloped, sketchy scallops, which I love scallops and I don't want to have any sketchy ones. Just maybe on my art only. Oh, I used to roller skate too. I had some roller skates. I had blue ones with the yellow accent stitching and the yellow knobby thing in the front. No, don't drive. Stay at home today. Today's a good stay home day. And Sophia, I don't know if you guys saw it recently, but when this was released, Sophia did say that she intended for this stencil to be cut, meaning to cut these bits out and use in different ways. I probably won't do that today, but that is definitely something that you can do. And when you order, if you are very nice and you go into the comment section of your order and you ask for the extra bits, PM artists will do their best to send you any of the extra bits that come off. So like this was one of these little sections here. This was another one. This is another one. So you'll get those. And then the inner little archy bits that you can use to create other fun stuff on the gel plate. So I like to save mine, use that for other things. And then I have because the last video I did was using Rhonda's Kraken stencil. This is her crack on mask. So we'll use that as well. Tambien. And then I also I got to have my flowers. Christy Hartman's newest one, cone flowers. I think it's cone flowers. I'm saying that right. Hi, Adrian. Welcome. Yes. And all the sizes I'm using today are 9x12. Well, let me show you the tissues that I did. Um, these are on Carnival wet strength tissue from the same session as I did these prints. Um, these are each have a couple different layers, and you see a big hunk of that paint off the stencil came off there. This one, I love this one with the gold. Great. Hi, Sandy. Welcome. Two Sandys in the house today. And this bright one. This started off with just as like the yellow ochres, and then it got some red, and then it got copper. A couple different layers in there. I'm going to set these to the side because I don't know if I'll use those today. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to show you is if you've seen one of my latest shorts on YouTube, it's kind of funky. It was late at night and I was just feeling a certain way and I wanted to do something different. But this is this is the result of those two pulls. Because what I do is I use my little 5x7s as mixing palettes for the paint. You've seen me do that before. And then I let it dry and build up on the plates. And then I come in with tape. And for these, I use just the clear packing tape that I use to clean off my plate. And I cut it into little bits and pieces and then pulled off sections of it. And then pulled them with a metallic. This one was pulled with a gold. And then this one was pulled with the burnt orange metallic. So great way to create fun abstract prints using your smaller plates as mixing palettes. And P does this too. She showed a couple of hers today on their live stream. Just wanted to show you that. All right, let me get some your glasses. I don't need you right now. Guess I can put you there. Nice weather there, Carl. Huh? Yeah, it's up to 59 degrees here, it says, but still a little chilly. Yes, the turquoise is pretty fabulous. Just that one. That was the I feel like I'm missing one. There we go. That's the one I was looking for. All right. So I'm gonna need that. Start with here. It's 9x12. All right. I'm gonna start with the ones that have less stuff going on. Let's add some layers. For this one, I'm going to start with the flowers. So let's see. This paper, Idma, is the Hammermill 28-pound color copy paper. And I just got a new package. So I'm going to show you what that package looks like so you can see. Debbie. Hi, Debbie. Welcome. All right, so this is the paper I use to pull my prints. If you see me just using the 8.5 by 11 paper, white paper, this is it. It's got the parrot on there. Cockatoo, cockatoo. 28-pound, 105 GSM. There is 500 sheets. Again, 8.5 by 11, and it's premium color copy. So there's a bit of a coating on it, but it's not a thick coating or anything. But it is it's a nice weight to pull prints with. All right, let's see here. So this is yellow. This one's for you, Zal. This is yellow ochre and gold. Because Zal, our pal, loves yellow ochre. That's what that is. So let's get something that's going to look fabulous on there. Excuse me. How about we do this permanent violet? And I'm going to start with it on the plate, on the naked plate. And I want to make sure I give myself enough that when I pull the print through the stencil, which is what I'm going to do, there's enough paint to give me a nice print. This looks really good on the camera. Splattering everywhere, but it looks really good. Patty asks, is there a backstory on the choice of paint brand? No, here's the thing. I've been blessed with a fairy godmother who's no longer able to use her paints, so she gifted them to me. So that is why. That's all I'm gonna say for now. It's just gets me choked up, and I don't really want to do that right now. So we'll leave it there. See, now that was a good layer of paint. So hopefully we'll get a good print out of this. Trying not to move this too much. And before you completely pull it up, take a peek, see what you got. Use your phalanges and get in there. Take your time. Look at that. Beautiful. I'm going to see if I can catch some of this on the edge here and cover up that extra space without ruining the rest of it. Not a big deal. Just see. It's kind of dry already. But look at that. Love it. I am going to see. Pull that through. Now, I did see somebody online. I think it was on my Instagram rabbit holes last night. Use a wet wipe to get some of this paint in here that's kind of not coming up. And just to get a cleaner cleaner look there. You had corduroys that color? That's so funny. I love it, Yuta. God, my mom loved to put me in corduroys. I did have a pair of brown corduroys that were my favorite. They were super soft, and it was the slightly wider corduroy. But of course, kids always tease me because they made noise when I walked, but I didn't care. They were fabulous, and I love them. Ooh, look at that. So pretty. This has to dry. Shouldn't take too long. I got my windows open today. Got the fabulous weather coming in. This has some stuff on it. Oh, this is leftover from the crack on video, but I'm just gonna put this down on here and see what we can get coming off of our. Well, I'll tell you what I've used. As far as acrylic paints, Irma asks, can you use acrylic paints for gel printing? Which acrylic paints are my favorites? So any of the Liquitex, like the basics, the fluid, the soft body, those are great. The Lucas Krills, those work great. This is the Lucas Krill. There's Liquitex, golden fluid acrylics. I've also used other, let's see. It's this one here. This is Sennelier acrylic, which is a nice one. But also, there's also your acrylic craft paints, which are great on the gel plate as well. So, these run the gamut in price and quality and whatever, but they all work great. It's a matter of how you use it. I started my gel printing journey with this 5x7 plate and a bunch of these craft paints. That's how I started. And so you don't need, expensive stuff to start with. And it's a great way to learn your basics on the gel plate and then go from there. There are definitely other acrylics out there by different brands. Here's another brand. This is one I get at Walmart. It's by Royal Langnickel called Essentials. But there's other ones like P uses the Nick Pro. There's also Blick, like they have their own brand. Meeden paints. So, hi Joe. I'm on live. You want to say hi to everybody?
Yeah. Hi.
That's my nephew, Joe. What are you doing today?
I'm just setting up for the party.
You having a party?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Is it outside?
Yep.
Oh, cool. Maybe I'll stop by later. Okay. I'll stop by later.
Do you have a paper and pen that I can borrow?
Yes, I do have a paper. And where's my pens? No. Who sent you, Papa?
No, Papa's not here. He is getting stuff.
Oh, yeah? I'll go right over the pen. Or you can use that Sharpie.
Okay.
Here's some paper.
Hey, Bob.
One sheet, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just to play dominoes.
Okay, cool. Have fun.
Two.
Don't cheat. Bye. Okay. Okay. All right, so that's that one. All right. So I do need a bigger plate. Look at that. Big design. There's the problems. I didn't prep my plates. All right, I'm gonna pull that. That's just like a bunch of different stuff on there. Let's see here. Oh, here's another good brand. Forgot to mention the Amsterdam paints. These are great. There's the standard series, and then there's a level up from this. So you can definitely get good prints out of those as well. And here's another tip, Mariah. This is a tip from Mariah. Buy a set of paints if you're not sure if you're going to like them or not, because that's what's going to help you. It'll help you decide if you like them or not, and it's not a huge investment. So there's a tip from Mariah. Let's see. Okay. So let me get something on here that maybe it'll pull it up fast. This red iron oxide likes to, the fluid acrylics like to pull stuff up quickly. So let's see if we can do that and make some room on this plate to play. Yeah, he's going to play dominoes. He's playing dominoes, and he's good at it. But before my dad passed away, he taught him a couple of tricks, and it's never left him. So that's why I said don't cheat. He is a very smart one, that's for sure. Take care, Jill. I appreciate you hanging out with us today. Have a wonderful day. This is what we call a quick pull. Because what's that, Karen? Ain't nobody got time for it to dry. So look, you get a cool print out of it. Let's get this out of the way. I am gonna get some paint or tape and get some of that off there. Because I want to start with the relatively clean workspace here. And I want to try and use the bigger plate so I can get the print on the entire sheet of paper. There goes my Baron. This is just regular packing tape. It's safe for the plate. I would not use masking tape on your gel plate. I have been told that it's a bad thing to use on your plate, so I stay away from that. Oh, thank you. Yes, Most dropped in a link for Anthony, who makes these Barons. The one I dropped almost on my toe. Yeah, he makes these. He turns them by hand in his home shop. He makes other things as well. Definitely check that out and tell him I sent you. That should be enough for us to play with. So how about we'll do another yellow one. So I did a couple of the prints in the yellow. There's a lighter one. Yeah, and you can save that tape, Irma, and use it for other stuff. Like you can glue it down on other projects, create something fun with it. I try to save them. Sometimes I do, and then I get frustrated with them and I throw them away. But usually I have a collection of them somewhere around here. Lord knows. So let me see here. Let's do some of this carmine. Look at that. There's still yellow on there from when I was doing the video the other day. Not enough to make a big difference, so I'm not worried about it. That should be enough. Yes. Oh, I love that question, Uta, but yeah, no particular project in mind. A lot of times my aim is to teach. I don't always have a project in mind, and when I do, it's usually all over the place, but that's just how my mind works. So I don't know. I hope that answers your question. Sometimes what I do is like I do have a little project going of little books of just the prints on paper and in and with tissue, and I'll grab them in a minute and I'll show you what I'm doing with them. I've shown them before, but these are some that I've put together recently, but I still have to look how beautiful that is. I still have to put hi Becky. I still have to sew them together. Isn't that beautiful? So again, I'm using this is Christy Hartman's stencil cone flowers. Some of that in there. Before I lift the stencil, I'm going to see if there's a print that I can get another print on here, the opposite of what I just did. onto another sheet. I think we could get it on here. This should be wet enough that I can get a nice print. So that would be a ghost print. I think that's what you call it. I don't know. Hi, Reba. Welcome. So it's a more subtle print, but you see you get the lines of the stencil, and here you get the inner workings of the design. So 2 for the price of 1. How fabulous is that? Oh, here. All right, I'm just going to leave that on there. I'm going to keep going. And let's get another print here we can work with. Do another yellow one. Oh, here's some magenta. How about we do some magenta? And do some purple. I'll mix it up a little bit. Mix it up. That's dioxazine purple. Here we'll do some Prussian blue over here. Yeah, I could have used my bigger brayer to do this, but you know, just trying to get things going here. That's how to do an ombre with the smaller brayer. Get in there. Now that's lovely. Oh, awesome, Reba. Appreciate that. Yeah, these are your colors, Becky. That's for sure. But I love it because you can still see the design behind it, even though I used darker colors. But they're not so dark. Like these are all either these were semi-transparent, and then the Prussian is a transparent blue. So, And I kind of did that without thinking because I already know, because having used them repeatedly, that's what these paints do. So that's one thing you want to remember when you're playing on your gel plate is keep a note either mentally or write it down if that's your thing of what paints are transparent. That's why it's important to swatch your paints. I don't always do that necessarily. um I kind of more remember just from using it that it is a uh transparent or not. And that's how I work. But some people take physical notes, and that's if that's something that's going to help you, that's I would encourage you to do that. Now, if I'm doing watercolors, I definitely swatch out watercolors because it's definitely a different creature. Um, and so I tend to definitely swatch my watercolors. There's still a lot going on in there, so I'm gonna leave that though. Let's see what we can do here. We got that there. That's kind of, I'm gonna let that dry and then I'm gonna pull a print with that. But let's get back to that first one. That one, it's plenty dry. We can do a print on here. And I really want to use this blue here, the light violet blue, or the light blue violet with this here. I think that'd be really cool. What if we did an ombre with this? And I want to use a metallic, but which one? Let's just go ahead and use this gold. I'm going to use the Lucas Krill gold down the middle. So this lid, I mean, really, Lucas Krill, these lids are ridiculous. Not in a good way. Okay. Here's another tip when you're doing an ombre. I learned this from P. Put your two end colors at one end and your middle color at the opposite end so that you have enough time when you're blending it all out for these paints to get a nice strip going before they start blending into each other. And use your large brayer. Ta-da, ta-da. See, this has a beautiful brayer ombre on it from when I did the crack on video with Rhonda Stencil, the crack on. Okay, so focus, Eddie. So I'm going to start here. Actually, I'm going to start here. See how I picked it up? And just take your time. Slowly work side to side to get your edges. I think I'm going to pull this on my Yasutomo sketch paper, which is the larger paper, 9x12. Here we go. Okay. I'll show you that pad in just a moment. I want to get the paper down first, though. Get that. Should be pretty fabulous. And don't be afraid of the ombre. It's more afraid of you than you think. Just try it. It doesn't. Like I said, if you don't have the larger one, the larger brayer, you can still do it. I've done it. Just use, maybe brayer out each color on its own, clean up, and clean off your brayer in between each, and then clean off your brayer again, and then blend them in. But be aware, you don't want to over brayer, because if you're not using paints that are open, meaning that they have a additive in them that keeps them from drying so fast, you want to make sure that you're working fast enough where your paints aren't going to dry on you. Now, if you do want to um, add something to your paint to keep them wet and you workable longer, there's such things as a acrylic retarder or acrylic um, extender, which will give your paint that open quality. Now, open is, let me show you here if I can get my hand. I apologize for the shaking of the camera, but I'm trying to get, okay, here. So golden golden acrylics is the only one that has this particular like branding open. I don't think there's any other acrylic paint that has that additive already built in. So like I said, if you have your other, any other paints that you have, you want to use something like this. Where are you? I know you're here somewhere. I'm looking for my paint extender, which I don't have. Anyway, but they come in different brands and stuff, so check them out. You can also use something like a airbrush medium that helps. But always keep in mind that anything that you add to your paint is going to diminish the power of the pigment in the paint. So it may not be as intense as you'd like, but look at that. That was worth the wait, wasn't it? That's absolutely gorgeous. Love that. Hello, Paula. Did I say hi, Paula K? I don't know. I'm talking a lot, I know. That's a winner chicken dinner. And we got this guy here that's got some leftovers from crack on. So let's get some paint on here and get this set up. I think I'm going to use this lavender color. I like this. This is nice. 'Tis the spring season. Some lavender. But maybe we'll throw in a little bit of, I don't know. No, let's just keep it lavender. Why not? And there's paint on coming off my brayer, but it's okay. That is just going to add to our print, and we love that. That's lovely. Very nice on that one. Bench plate here. This should be dry enough where we can get a nice coat of paint on here. Do. Welcome to Funky Town. This needs something a little brighter, I think. Maybe some Titan Buff. How about some Titan Buff? Because it's handy. Paper ready. And I'm going to get different brayers because that one has a lot of wet paint on it. All right. These brayers definitely need a soaking after the workout they've gotten this week. I think I lined that up right. We'll see when it's all done. How much, Karen? How much is a lot? Hi, Ann Webb. Welcome. Nice. I love it, Karen. I can't wait to see it. Okay, let's take a peek at that. Oh, nice. That looks good. Sorry about that. The ring light. If you've noticed my last video, I've been trying to film from the side instead of from above, just to avoid that constant glare of that ring light. But for live streaming, I find it the best just to keep it above, and so we get everything, all the action. Plus, I move around a lot, and I tend to, I will bump into the what it was when you call that, the tripod that I put the camera on. So that's why. But there we go. Give that a few minutes to dry. Some of these won't take long to dry. Now here, this is the leftovers. Forgot about that from the long haul I did on my last video. So why don't I do this? Let me go ahead. I'm going to lay down some color on here, and then we can get a nice, lovely print out of there. That's nice, thick paint right there. So back in the time. All right, guys. Do you guys I want some suggestions for colors? I'm gonna get some white paper under here so we can see. We can see what's going on. This is that Yasutomo sketch paper that I like to use. This is what I used on that. The print with the ombre. let's do it this way because this is what we're gonna see from the stencil here, or from the front side. All right, so I'm seeing like orange, lime green. I like the idea of a sunrise. Yellow, metallic green. Hmm. That was my noggin hitting the camera. Stop it. Stop moving. Guys, you know what I watched this morning? Because like I said, I've been up since 3:30 this morning, nonstop. I watched the Coachella Festival is going on in Palm Springs right now, and it's a good way to hear some bands you've never heard before, or some older bands or artists that you forgot about, and you're like, oh hey, yeah, I remember that one. Like they had Moby, he played an awesome set, um, electronic music. But they had Justin Bieber played for the first time, and it was really good. I have to say, it's really good. There was a section where he pulled out his laptop and he started playing his old videos, like when he was a little thing, and he was just doing his YouTube thing, and he sang along to that, and that was good stuff. That was powerful to watch. Because if you know anything about him, from whatever you think of him, he's been through a lot as a person, right? And an artist. And as an artist, when you are thrust into the spotlight at such a young age, um, your needs are not always number one priority. It's usually the money that you bring in is the priority. And unfortunately, that's what happened to him. So a lot of what we saw was him growing up and acting out, and like that whole thing. But so it's kind of a full circle concert today, that he put on. It was definitely worth a watch. It's very good. uh so we had, oh, greens. I have this viridian here. What if we use some of this? We got, excuse the language, guys. I've people I live with who just, I no class whatsoever. So what about this viridian here? And then metallics. Where is? Ooh, do we maybe want to use some of this burnt orange metallic, or should we go? Let me see. Where's the green one? Where's my green? Justin Bieber. Hi, Darcy. Talking about the Biebs. Oh, it's very close to this. So why don't we use just a combination of these two? What about that? Yeah, and like, if you watch the show, you could the guy is talented. He's quite talented in what he does. Um, and if you like gospel music, he did a couple of great gospel type numbers. I don't know if they were actual gospel songs. I don't. That's not my thing, but it sounded very much like something you'd hear in a church. And I know he's into his, religion, whatever. That's here nor there, but um, yeah. So that was interesting to watch, but it was good. No, they're my neighbors. Those voices are my neighbors. Let's introduce a third color. I do want to do a third color here. I think the burnt orange would be too much. I think it's too. I don't know. I think it's too much. I don't like these two together. I'm gonna be honest. So I'm gonna ixnay that. So if we did that, and then maybe. How about the Arctic? Let's do that. Okay, my decision has been made. And I appreciate everybody's input and help. But just FYI, it's not that I don't appreciate the suggestions and I'm ignoring them. Um, in person, it looks different than what you see on the camera. So just keep that in mind. I'm seeing something a little bit different. And so I'm getting a little bit more of a different vibe. Hi, Elizabeth. How are you? Yeah, these are great, Becky. These metallics, and they're not pricey. Which is always a benefit. But Liquitex, listen up. Giving you a lot of promo on your metallics there, so let's step it up with the sponsorship. All right, so once again, we're doing an ombre. We've got two colors on one side and then the center color on the other side. Just gonna, oops. You're gonna embarrass me like that right now? Come on. All right, let's this is being really difficult. All right. All right, let's see here. Some paint off my finger. Oh, God. I think I can get this on the sketch paper. Now, if you do use this Yasutomo sketch paper, it's a good idea to put the shiny, smooth side down to pull your print. Thanks, Elizabeth. And this is one of those situations where you want to make sure you put down enough paint because, like I said earlier, the leftovers on the plate from that long haul were on the thicker side. So you want to make sure you have enough paint to be able to pull that paint up. I'm just trying to go around and get up as much of the edges as possible so that when I go to pull the print, nothing rips or sticks or anything like that. None of that funny business. And it does make your brayer look super fabulous. Look at that. All right, let's take a look at that. Glorious. I love it. I really do. That's going to look really good. What can we pull? I think the one with the Titan buff we can pull. That's hot. To steal a phrase from the popular Paris Hilton. That's hot. It's got little bits of gold in there. Fun. I love that. I think Christy would love that too, because Christy loves her Titan buff. You should love that one. This one should be ready to go. Thanks, Elizabeth. Oh, this is the one we pulled to lavender. This was a flop off of the cone flower stencil. And there was leftover on the plate from another session I did. Look at that. That's a beautiful combo right there. Very, very nice. And great design too, where you can come in. You can come in with like acrylic pens if you wanted to, and draw in designs into those petals, and do draw in the centers as well. That'd be fun to do. All right. That can go to the side. Here, let's pull that ombre before we do any more printing. Oh, wait, I know my plates are freed up. This should be dry enough. Yeah. See, as I pull, I'm pushing down on the gel plate, and that'll help keep any edges from sticking. But ooh, look at that. That's lovely. That turned out great. I wish I blended it a little bit better here, but I'm not mad. Not mad at it at all. That. Give you a little wiggle. How about that? Exciting. Yeah, that's a good question, Mo. I found that the fluid acrylics aren't the best to do an ombre because they tend to want to separate on you. And especially like depending on your plate, if it's been recently conditioned, it can, further cause that separation of the paint. Um, so for ombre, I tend to stick with the medium to slightly heavy body paints. That tends to work the best. Well, hello, Rhonda. How are you? Let me get this bad boy out here. This is Sketchy Scallops by Sophia. A new one. But I think we should put some paint down first. Let's pick a paper to print on. And some of these may not need anything extra, but so let's Here. What about this one? Mo, how about Prussian? What do we think of Prussian blue with this one? Now the question then becomes, do I want just this design, the lines, or the opposite? Got my Prussian ready to go. I need to re-up on. That's funny. I do use a lot of it. I like the Prussian. Here's what I'm going to do. That Prussian dries quickly. Give me a second. I need to find my paint extender. Oh, here it is. It's hiding next to my glasses. So what I want to do is I want to mix up some of this Prussian with paint extender because um it's a blue that loves to dry quickly. And I've used this one before, the brand, and I know it dries quickly. I'm just gonna give myself enough paint here. If I have extra, that's great. Look at that extra little goopy thing there. Get a towel to get that out of here. Try not to mix your extender on the plate that you're doing your print on, because it will cause, like, for lack of a better term, skid marks, and you don't want that on your print. So spatula, and this is what I use. This is the Blick Artist's acrylic retarder. Slows drying time of acrylic paints. So I kind of eyeball it, but usually 4-to-1 paint to extender is where I'll start with. We'll see how this looks. I think a little bit more. And so what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the paint down, put the stencil on top. I'm gonna pull paint through the stencil onto this print, and then chill out, paint, chill out. And then the ghost print left behind after I lift the stencil will go onto this more metallic one. Yeah, Becky, I said do not mix your extender on the plate that you're going to pull your print with, because it will leave skid marks behind, and that's not something you probably want. Same goes for any of your mediums. Try to mix it off the plate on something separate. Make sure it looks nice and smooth. Yikes. Let's get some paint down on here. I want to give myself enough so that when I do pull up the stencil, there's enough that's going to leave a nice print on my other print, because don't forget, we're going paint to paint, and it's harder to get a really good impression um, and going from a paint to paint. So you'll see. You'll see what I mean. Brayer. Who's got the brayer? Right, here's one. Let's use this one. Okay. Never this careful with my prints, but I want this to work out. Well, there's a little piece here that didn't get taken out, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. All right, so I'm going to pull the paint through the stencil with this one. No. All right, let me get that down. Try not to get my arm in that paint. I hate when the stencil moves, because there is a lot of paint on there, so that may happen. So just be aware. I think I'll be all right. No, I think it's any mom with boys, Darcy. Can feel the wetness. The wetness. Yeah, my stencil did shift a little bit, but that should be all right. I may have gone a little bit heavy on that. It's really wet. But I do have one of the wet strength that I'm going to use to pull the rest of this with. And I'm taking my time because I know that paint's not going to dry anytime soon. Which is why I need to move this to a place where I'm not going to get it trimmed. There we go. All right. Bye, Irma. Thanks a lot for hanging out. Have a good one. Look at that. Cleaned up nicely. We're going to lift that up. Look at that. Paint still nice and wet. Let's my print down. It's a little crooked, but not worried about it. I am gonna probably leave that on there to dry a little bit. It's like I said, it's going paint to paint. I want to make sure there's good contact. Contact, that's the word. Beautiful. That's exactly what I wanted. Love that. Just gonna give it once over with my Baron. Let it hang out for a little bit, and let's use up the rest of this blue paint. And I still got blue on that stencil too, so let's do this. Okay. See how that extender is great. Paint still nice and workable. Gently lift. Here you hang it here. Try to put stuff in places. Let's get. How about this one? Let's do that one right here. I was putting the paper down all crooked. It's not as easy to see when I'm not when you're not standing up. And honestly, I can't stand up for longer than 5 minutes doing this stuff because I have a bad back. So I sit in my chair. Thank you, Miss P. It's my Prussian blue with added extender to keep it nice and workable, to create those beautiful prints. So. Oh, that's my, this is gorgeous. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Very much so beautiful. plenty of stuff to work with there, but let's see. I think I'm just gonna pull that onto some paper. I pull out paper. Let's get that down there. Don't work yourself too hard, Miss P. You let the youngins do all that hard work. Look at that. It's like a piece of, it's like denim. Very beautiful. Okay. You need a home. This was the first one I pulled, P. Still kind of wet, but because I used a lot of paint on under the stencil to make sure I got a good print for this beauty here that is on the plate still. All right, so give that a moment to hang out. You go this way. That stencil still has paint on it, so let's get some more blue, but maybe we'll mix something else into the blue here. You know, you are being a bit of an itch today, Stencil. Need you to chill out. Okay, let's get some paint in here. Boom, 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 boom. What do we want to mix in there? I know. Well, that's why I'm trying to be gentle too, because I don't want it to rip until I'm going to cut it eventually, but to use it as pieces. But I didn't want to do that today. That's quinacridone magenta that I'm just mixing in here. Sprayers. I think it needs to be cleaned. Set up a little better with my palette knife. That's gonna make it lovely. Almost a dioxazine purple. And then look what's left behind on there. That's gonna be really fun. Okay. Yeah. Gonna do something risky here, but I think we can do it. Risky meaning this is a brand new stencil. There's not much paint on it beyond the Prussian and that little bit of quinacridone magenta on there. I want to pull a print from this. Get my paper down. The trick is not to leave it down too long. Oh, it's all over me. Timing is key. So make it a quick rubby dub dub because you're going paint to plain paper. Now, it's behaving today. It's let me do what I want it to do. So that is always a bonus. So you see, get this really awesome print. But look at the color that made. We do Rhonda. That would be great. Dun dun. Or for those in the UK, how about an EastEnders one? You know what that one is, Mo. That's beautiful. Just to dry. Got a lot of leftover paint. Where is that tissue? Still got this here. Clean up the rest on the tissue paper here. And kind of offset the paper, but hopefully we'll get a kind of a 2D effect going. Doof doof the doof doof. Yep. Doof 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 doof. I know all about the doof doof. I'm telling you, Mo. When I'm ready to move over there, I'll be ready. Now, we're talking about earlier in the PM Artist Studio stream how you post stencils give back. This is what I mean. You see how like you see the white now on the stencil again? That's what we mean when the stencil gives back. The UPO gives back. See if I get some of this off the stencil here. Good. Okay. Get a cool outline left over on here. Pretty sharp outline, which I love. Gonna let that dry a little bit before I do anything else. Okay, what this should be ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a pull. Oh yeah. Look at that. And that's exactly what I wanted to do. Because like Mo said, if I had used this print to pull the paint through the stencil, I would have lost a lot of the design behind. But and like this one had different colors going in it. It's got the gold and so I wanted to keep some of that integrity. So that's why I chose to pull what was under the stencil onto this print and then I pulled the paint through the stencil on this more solid colored print. So you get two different vibes going on. Both fabulous. Both are wonderful. Jeez, I sound like Melania. Ah, that's what I get. That's what I get for being snarky. I love when she says that that I met my husband at a party. No, you met Marla Maple's husband at a party. Don't forget that. He was married when they met. Once a cheater, always a cheater. In love, life, and politics. The man has never done anything honestly, that's for sure. Talk about, oh yeah, that's where we met. And it was a girl, we know. We've seen the pictures. We know. The minute she came out to give that speech, I was like, girl, I don't know how Shakespeare said it, but doth protest too much. When you go out there and you all like, and your husband doesn't even know that you're doing this speech and what you're talking about, that is just a clear sign of desperation. And anybody around her who didn't stop her, needs to be fired because that's a rookie move. That is a rookie move. All right, so let's see. We've got some stuff on here. Let's get the stencil back. Use that one. Prayer. Oh, here they are. I stuck them in this like. Never mind. Yeah, that's it. I added the B word in there too, though, but I don't think that's very nice for a live stream, so I don't do that. Okay. Let's get some darkness on here. Let's get some contrast going on there. We'll do some mauve. Some mauve. Okay, that was a lot of mauve, Eddie. Take some of that off here. Take care, Elizabeth. Thank you for hanging out. Spread the wealth here. I'm covered in paint. All right, I'm gonna get this stencil down this way. Come on. All right, so maybe not that for this initial print. Here, we'll use this one. All right, I'm just gonna do a couple more prints, guys, and then I am headed out to my bed because I need some sleep. I mean, I could probably sit here and do this for a couple more hours, but I will be completely silent. Well, Lexi, you knew I was coming on at 1:15 my time. But you can always catch the replay, sweetheart. We had a lot of fun earlier. Look at that. Very nice. All right, that can go there. What, me just sitting here quiet, zoned out, like a crackhead. No, I gotta try and get a few Z's. But who knows? They're supposedly having a party for my nephew, which, of course, again, they don't tell me any any of that stuff. So I'm not even going to go because it's just not my style. It'll be worth it, Lexi. Definitely watch the replay. It'll be worth it. And if you are watching in replay, much appreciated. I love when you watch in replay. I know a lot of you do. And it means a lot. Oh, that's lovely. That is very nice. These are going to be fun once I cut them out of the frame to use on the bigger plate. Yes, I was thinking of using those and some other bits and pieces to do a McCoy mashup. If you know, you know. Thanks, Patty. Take care. Appreciate you hanging out. Yeah, that'll be fun for that. But like I said, I want to wait for my other stuff to get here. Look at some of the new stamps that came out. These are gunked up. Maybe that's what I'll do later today is soak these brayers in some Murphy's oil and water. Because you can see here how much paint's on. It's beautiful looking, but it hinders the motion of the rotation. It's good for now. Let's see. This one's open here. Oh yeah, it would, Becky. Yes, that one would. Oh, let's pull this one here. This is the ombre we did with the Viridian and Arctic and metallic green. Crack those edges, Eddie. And this is the Yasutomo sketch paper. Now, creating all of these prints that I've been using today is how I got to the to this print here. So that was the result of the long haul that I never pulled or never, put down the pull color for. Now I'm going to show you why I didn't want to use the burnt orange here. Because it would have killed some of that lusciousness that you see in those designs there. Because you see it's kind of orangey, pinkish. And I would have lost a lot of that awesome coloring like that. So that's what I mean when it's important to like really look at what's on your plate and look at the colors and think about, okay, so what I put down, how will that affect what's already there? Because you don't want to just pick a color because, oh, that's a great color. Oh, I love that color. It's my favorite color. You want to look at it as, okay, what is going to enhance what's already down there, not take away. If you want to take away from it, that's fine. That's a whole nother thing. But if you took that long to do a long haul and you've got this fabulous stuff going on the plate, you don't want to destroy that. So you want to really think about um, the colors that are there and how to enhance it, not take away from it and not hide it. Um, and that's another reason why it's important to understand the color wheel, so that you can make those decisions a little bit better when you come to these situations. So love that. I'm so happy how that turned out. Yikes. What, Rhonda, be nice to me. Well, I do learn from the best, so there you go. Oh, Rhonda, you're the best. You are the best. Here, let's do a couple of prints with Rhonda's stencil. This is the Mask of Kraken. Look at that. No, I know it was Rhonda. I'm teasing you. Sure. What are we gonna crack on to? This would be a good candidate for some orange. Get a lot of orange requests. So how about we do that? Now here's the thing is like, do I want the lines or do I want the innards? How do I want this? I want the lines. So I'm gonna put down some orange on the plate. I'm gonna use some of this. This is a thicker orange. And I want to use it up too. There's not a lot left. And this is oh, this is vermilion. It's orange to me. What do I know? I don't know what they are, but they are fabulous, Rhonda. I love that I love these crack-on stencils. That is cadmium orange hue that I threw in there. Tambien as well. Get some of them mixed up here. I can hear the kids gathering for my nephew's little party. His birthday, I think, was last week, but you know how things go. this. I'm going to put this with this. And orange is one of those things where it has its place. I don't put it in everything, but it has its place. And like with any color, really. This is why I did really well when I sold men's clothing. And men's clothing, meaning like men's suits and ties, dress shirts, that sort of thing. Because I was great at putting together outfits and combos, color combos for the men's. Uh, Most men are not good at that. Most straight men, let's say, are not good at that. Now, there are gay men too who aren't good at color combo, and we won't talk about them. That's okay. But um, fun fact is a lot of men, people who tend to be colorblind or have color recognizing issues tend to be men. Um, I'm lucky enough that I'm good with colors and mixing them, all that. So I always had fun doing that, and was very successful with it. Let me give this a good little rub. Lovely. So that's on Carnival. And then see, hopefully there's enough underneath that I can get a print on that paper. Oh, that's lovely. Yes, let's get this paper down ASAP. Yes, that's what I've heard, Carla. Not about the MS, but about the X chromosome. But I didn't know about that MS caused color blindness. That is a tragic disease. I had an aunt who passed away in her 40s from MS. It's terribly tragic. Oh, look at that. It's a little wild, but I love it. I kind of love it. Digging it for sure. Get you over here. Right. Where is you metallic orange? Let's do metallic orange on this one. This is correction, metallic burnt orange. Hunk of something. right in front of me. Gonna put this metallic over this here. Why not? Who is this Christy y'all are talking about? And I don't understand why she's taking precedence over me. This is all about me. Whew. That metallic packs a punch. That's beautiful. Yeah, but who is she? I don't know who she is. You talk about these people. I don't know who they are. Give me some context to what you're talking about. Oh, okay. Thanks, Becky. Gotcha. Good for her. Good for her. Woohoo, that's wild. Another wild one. But I love that. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it here. Those dogs are howling and they're getting on my nerves. And I need a nap. But thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I don't think there's really anything else. No, nothing on the plates except like some leftovers. I think we're good. I'll do my best to get some pictures up later of all the different prints. So thank you guys. I love that you well, I'm not into beads, so like I don't think I would enjoy it. But anyway, um thank you guys so much. Have a great day. Appreciate you. Don't forget to hit the like button, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye everyone.